Okay, B'ezat Hashem, we're continuing in Pirkei Avot with Perek Vav Mishnah Bet. B'ezat Hashem, we're learning today Shabi Le'iloi Nishmat Ezra Ben Avraham V'Rachel, the dear father of our beloved Yosef Franco. I always love when you come and join and add. I love it. B'ezat Hashem, it should be a great Gan Eden for him. This Mishnah we're going to learn today, Mishnah Bet, is probably one of my most favorite Mishnayot in the entire Shas. Listen to this Mishnah. This whole parak is talking about the importance of learning Torah, Torah study, focus, but this Mishnah really is very, very special, very important. Now the Tana of this Mishnah is Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi. Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi was a very big man. He was a first generation Amorah. He was a student of Bar Kapara, as well as a person whose name is Rabbi Yehuda. This was the introduction to the Mishnah in the Kahati, as well as a student of the nephew of Bar Kapara, whose name was Rabbi Yehuda ben Pidia. But the point is, his Rebbe's Rebbe was Rabbi Yehuda Anasi. So this Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi was very close to the end of the Tanaic period, the beginning of the Amoraic period. That's where he was. The Gemara in Ketuvot tells us that he went into Gan Eden while he was still alive. He was on a tremendous level, this Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi. And he would also go, it's unbelievable, listen to this. He would go and learn Torah with people that were sick with communicative illnesses, not communicative. Communicable diseases, thank you. He would go and learn Torah with them. How could you learn Torah with such people? You could get sick from them.
No, what is it?
That could spread. Diseases that could spread. He would go learn Torah with such people because he would say, Torah megina lomdeha, Torah protects those who study it, and he would say further, the Torah that we're learning is going to make him better. It'll heal him. So I'm going to go. It's interesting because they say similar stories with Rabbi Ari Levine. Rabbi Ari Levine was the tzaddik of Yerushalayim recently, last 100 years. He also used to go and learn Torah with sick people. He would go visit sick people. Anyways, Kitzer. But this Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi was a very big man, and he teaches in this Mishnah, like I said, perhaps one of my favorite Mishnayot in all of Shas. The importance of this Mishnah is amazing. Let's see. Amar Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi. Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi says the following: B'chol yom v'yom, every day. Good to have you, Ben. B'chol yom v'yom, every day. Bat kol yotzet mehar chorev. A bat kol goes out from Har Chorev. What is Har Chorev?
Mount Sinai.
Har Sinai. Thank you. Har Chorev is Mount Sinai, Har Sinai, where the Torah was given. So a bat kol emerges from Har Chorev. What is a bat kol? So the Mefarshim talk over here, if a bat kol here means some sort of a heavenly echo, some message from Hashem, or if it's just the way we understand the Torah was given there, so this is the message that would naturally be transmitted from the location where the Torah was given. And a bat kol emerges from Har Chorev, and it says, Umachrezet ve'omeret, and it announces and says the following: Oy lahem labriot me'elbona shel Torah. Woe to the people from the elbona shel Torah. What is elbona? Elbona, it's an interesting language. Elbona is the disgrace or the disregard. Chutzpah, really. The Gemara in Masechet Gittin talks about how at Har Sinai, after accepting the Torah, the Jewish people created a treaty, a covenant, a brit with Hashem, like a husband and wife. And then they did the Egel HaZahav, and it was like Aluva kala shezinta mikerev chupata. That's the language of Chazal. Aluva, disrespectful, chutzpah, insolent is the bride who strays from under the chuppah. They just accepted the Torah, aluva, now they go into Egel HaZahav. It's coming up, we're going to learn about that. But that's what elbona means. Woe to the people, me elbona shel Torah. So what does it mean is that the people who should be studying Torah, they're disregarding Torah, creating elbona shel Torah, disregard for the Torah, chutzpah. And as we see, it pushes them away from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So in Har Sinai, the place where the Torah was given, a bat kol comes out of there. It's almost like natural. It's where the chashivut of the Torah was so felt. Every day this bat kol emerges and says, why are you not studying Torah like you're supposed to?
Shekol study Torah, you never bonat.
If you don't, yes. Because there's two issues. First of all, if you don't study Torah, you're disregarding a tremendous mitzvah of studying Torah. Secondly, hold on. Secondly, if you don't study Torah, you don't know what to do. Because if you don't study Torah, you don't know the ma'asim as you're supposed to do them. So it's two issues. Of course you're supposed to work, but it has to be with learning Torah as well. Of course. I think Yehoshua doesn't learn. He learns all day. Shekol mi sheino. I'm just saying, the point is, there's no question. Torah im derech eretz, it's fine. But Torah, of course. Shekol mi sheino osek b'Torah nikra nazuf. Anybody that does not study Torah is called nazuf. What does nazuf mean? Nazuf. Oh, thank you. Nazuf is pushed away. Some learn it even means like cherem, like this, excommunicated from Hashem. He's disregarded by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. A person who could study Torah, who could, again I say could, he has the opportunity, he's working of course, he has to make parnasah, but he could learn, and he doesn't learn Torah, he's called Nazuf. Hashem pushes him away. Hashem says, you're in timeout, I don't want to be near you. I don't want you near me. Shene'emar, like the pasuk in Mishlei teaches us, thank you. Nezem zahav ba'af chazir. Mishlei, it gives us a mashal. What does it say? Nezem zahav, a golden ring, ba'af chazir, in the nose of a chazir. What's a chazir? A pig. A gold ring in the nose of a pig. A pig. Isha.
Put some lipstick
on the pig. Exactly the same thing. Isha yafa, so is a beautiful woman, visarat tam, but lacking reason. She's missing reason. What is the pasuk teaching us? Is that a gold ring is a beautiful thing. But what is the chazir? You put it in the nose of the chazir, what's it going to do? It's going to drag it in the mud. It's going to drag it in the garbage. So if you have a Talmid Chacham, or somebody who could study Torah, I should say, but he does not study Torah like he should, so what's going to end up happening? He's Isha Yafa V'Sarat Tam. He's going to lack the reasoning, the understandings as he should, and he's taking the Torah and he's not going to be able to explain as he should. So it's the most beautiful, wonderful thing, and you're disregarding. You're throwing in the garbage.
Question is, how much of Torah you have to learn?
Good question. Good question.
All day, half a day, 1 hour, 2 hours.
So I don't want to extensively talk about this right now because we have to get back to the Mishnah. But I'll tell you, there is. We've spoken about this a few times. There is a Gemara. Where are you going? That's the question he leaves. There is a Gemara in Masechet Brachot.
It's a question to go.
All right, I take the exactly.
To go.
There is a Gemara in Masechet Brachot. Yosef's asking, how much Torah do we need to study? What's going on? There is a Gemara in Masechet Brachot. There's a machloket there. Who are the shitot? It's Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and who's the other one? Shimon Bar Yochai, Rabbi Yishmael, I think. Rabbi Yishmael, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And the machloket goes as follows. One of the shitot says Torah im derech eretz. There has to be a partnership. You have to have, because if you don't have derech eretz, you don't have work. How do you pay your bills? How do you take care of your field? How do you take care of your family? That's one shita. The other shita says no, because if you're going to be learning Torah all day. Well, sorry. If you're going to be working, Torah matayaleh, how are you going to study any Torah? And when you have to plow, you're going to plow the field. When you have to thresh, you're going to thresh. You're going to be busy all day working. You can't learn any Torah. Shimon Bar Yochai. The Gemara concludes and says, many people tried to do like Rabbi Yishmael, I believe, and he said, meaning they tried to do Torah im derech eretz, and they were successful. This was a good approach. They learned Torah and they did work. Torah im derech eretz, as Pirkei Avot tells us, that's the greatest thing to do. Most people were successful in doing, but people who tried to do, many people tried to do like the higher level Torah all day, and Hashem will take care of you. They were not successful. How does it put the psak in halacha? It says many people tried to do and they were not successful. So for some, few people in every generation, b'chol dor vador, who could study Torah all day and then they're taken care of, Hashem will take care of them. But for Ruba Deruba, majority of people,
why Hashem don't take care of everybody that learn Torah?
Because you have to be on the level that Hashem takes care of you like that. You have to have such emunah and bitachon. You have to be such a tzaddik.
You have to have some
Go do it. See what happens. If you do it, if you'll be taken care of, you have to have Shem Shamayim, Yirat Shamayim. You have to be on such a level. So the point I'm making is, for most people, most of us people, regular people, we have to work. That's the reality. But that doesn't mean not im Torah. Torah im derech eretz. It has to be a partnership. Okay, so there's a minority, small percentage of people who could do it the other way. But that's the story. One last point I'll tell you just to answer your question is there's a Ran in Masechet Nidarim that tells us the Torah says Uvetorato yehageh yomam v'layla, day and night. What do we? So Ran says, what does it mean? It means really, ideally, you should learn Torah all day, but kol echad lefi kocho. Everyone according to his abilities. You need to work 8 hours a day, so you work and then you learn Torah when you could.
I look at it like this. Basically, have a Shem in your head all day long. Doesn't matter. Even you walk, you do whatever you do, but everything that happens, you connect it.
Okay.
No matter what you can walk, you do.
Okay, but it's not an excuse not to learn Torah. That's the point. It's not an excuse. We always have to learn a Jew has to learn Torah every day. There has to be a seder. And specifically, we'll see in a minute, it has to be a seder kavua also, not random. 5 minutes there, and then the next day, 10 minutes later. Kavua, kfiyut. It's very important. Yeah.
Just to bring back what you were saying, so it says Yapet in chapter 2:2 of Pirkei Avot.
Yeah.
Yapet Tamataram derech eretz. It's very important that if you're not learning Torah, if you're learning Torah and then you're not doing any work, sometimes you can get engaged in other things. So by working, it takes away the capacity of the avonot to come in between your Torah study. Because if you're just learning Torah and then you take a break and you're not doing anything else, so bad things can happen.
Right, I agree. Completely agree. Let's
you
continue.
Should go to work.
You should work. Sure.
It's
like I said, there's a small percentage of people that maybe don't have to fit that bill, but majority we work, and that's it. So.
But some tzaddikim they get paid. By
so I said there's a percentage of people that exist. That's not a simple thing though. We all have to work. I work. To make money is that's how it goes. Now let's continue. So that's where you don't study Torah. There's this kitrug, there's this complaint against us, chas v'shalom.
Derech eretz is to walk?
Work, in that context. In that context, the Torah can.
Derech eretz is to be a mitch.
You're right. There's different usages of the same terminology. We spoke about it once on Shavuot, actually. We spoke about it. V'omer, the pasuk tells us by Matan Torah, v'haluchot ma'aseh Elokim heima, the luchot, the 2 tablets that were given to us, were the handiwork of Hashem. V'amichtav, michtav Elokim hu. The writing was the handwriting of Hashem. Charut ala luchot. Now, what does it mean literally? Carved. But what is carved on the luchot? But what does it mean? Al tikra charut. Don't read it carved. Ela cherut. Free. You want to be a free man. What does it mean? She'ein lach Ben Chorin ela mi she'osek b'talmud Torah. There's no such thing as a free person unless he's engaged, and it says osek. Osek is a very key word over here. Ein lach ben chorin elami she'osek b'talmud Torah, in the study of Torah. What is osek? We spoke about this yesterday. Osek is an esek. Osek doesn't mean I open the sefer, I read 3 lines, and I walk out. Osek, like you just said, it means the entire focus of my day is on Torah. Maybe I could only learn an hour in the morning, but that's my esek. Maybe I have to go work in the restaurant, but while I'm in the restaurant, I'm thinking about the Daf Hayomi I heard this morning. Maybe I have to go do real estate, but while I'm talking to clients, I want to get back to the sefer. That's the ikar. That's my esek, my focus. En lach ben chorin. What's a free man? If you're focused on learning Torah. Now, why does that make a person free? What does that have to do? Why does it make you free? Because we learned yesterday.
You're free from all the shackles of everything.
Exactly. We learned yesterday. You're free from the shackles of reality. Very good. What does it mean? We learned yesterday the only thing that can raise a person up in his midot, in his character, and to improve and all of that is the study of Torah. Through the study of Torah, we become humble. We become patient. We become giving. All of these, it's all natural. But a person who doesn't study Torah, to develop and become greater like that, he is bound by his ta'avot, by his ga'ava, by all of those. When you study Torah, it frees you. Now, it might look like the guys outside are enjoying and having a great time. They're not really B'nai Chorin. They're running after their ta'avot all day. They have no freedom. They're avadim in Mitzrayim, exactly. That's what they are. B'mitzarim, they're stuck. When we learn Torah, osek b'talmud Torah, we become B'nai Chorin. V'chol mi she'osek b'Torah tadir, very key word again. Anyone that's involved in Torah tadir, what's tadir? Constantly, meaning it's not aray, a little here, a little there, but there's kviyut, there's regularity. Very important idea. Unfortunately, I find very often good people, they want to learn Torah, they want to do mitzvot, but they're constantly jumping from this to that to the other thing. So one minute they're learning Zohar, the next minute they're learning Mishnayot, you should learn everything. Halavai, you should learn everything, but that's not tadir, that's not kfiyut.
No?
It's not, no. Because then you get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you don't understand anything. Seder has to be kavua.
Kavua ilmod, but you could learn whatever
you could do that, but the problem is, what ends up happening then is, you have a little bit of everything and you don't understand anything. If that's your kfiyut, that's fine. If that's your kfiyut. Like if you learn Chok Yisrael, for example, that's a kfiyut. But if you're just one day learning that, one day learning that, that's nice and fun and exciting. And one day you hear a speech, there needs to be tadir, there needs to be tadirut, there needs to be kfiyut. So if he studies Torah, he's involved in Torah tadir, he is elevated, it brings him up. I'll finish off with this. It says, when the Jews were traveling in the Midbar, it says the different locations they were in, and it mentions them by name. And Chazal deduce from these names the idea of the progression in Torah study. It says, if you make yourself, the first place is Midbar. You make yourself like a Midbar, the Kahati brings down over here. The first step is, you have to be like a Midbar, you're open for business. Anybody who wants to come talk to you, learn with you, that's the first step in order to be successful in Torah. So then, matana. Umimatana nachliel. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives you the Torah as a gift, so you can understand it. And if you receive it as a gift, nachliel. What does that mean? Then you're nochel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you become his inheritance. Nachliel bamot, and bamot, then you're elevated through the Torah that you're absorbing. It creates good character, good midot, and you're elevated. People give you kavod, all of the things, that are real, that are ultimately legitimate. That's what comes from the true Torah study. Just to finish off, the point is that learning Torah is the ikar. It's very important, but it has to be kfiyut, it has to be tadir, and that's really where we get to success.
But not the same thing.
Again,
like all the time.
I have no problem with learning different subjects during the day. I do, but they're kavua, they're regular. It's not random. One day I open this Masechet, the other day I open... Because the problem is, then what you're left with is a little bit of this information, a little bit of that information, but you don't have any of it clear. You don't have any of it real in your head.
I like to listen to Rabbi to talk about it.
Okay.
One time you talk about this, I enjoy. One time this.
That's fine. But that's not going to be the success that brings you to ultimate clarity in Torah.
Not good to be the rabbi,
You forget about rabbi. You want to have a success in Torah. You want to be moved.
This I enjoy. You sit down sometimes.
Enjoy is nice. Enjoy is nice. Enjoy is nice. Okay.
The rabbi say this, that, say that, back and forth.
That's not
we have nothing to do with him,
Kfiyut means every day of a seder you come at the same time, you learn the same subject. That's kfiyut, and it's very important. It could be 10 minutes, but it's kfiyut.
Because the aspect is to be Kenyan Torah. It's actually to acquire the Torah.
The whole parak is called Kenyan Torah. Exactly.
So the idea, if you're going to bounce around from different places and you're not going to actually acquire it, you can listen to it, and that's nice, and oh wow, that's a great company. But if you're not concentrating and focusing and going over and Chazara and make it part of you, so then you're not actually acquiring it, and that's the whole thing. So it doesn't stay with you. And that's why it's good that what you're saying, Tadir and Kaveah, but it stays with you. And that's the idea of acquiring the Torah. It's not just listening to the Torah, it's actually making it a part of you. And in order to do that, you're going to focus on that inyan and absorb it. And after you absorb it, you go into the next one.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Stop here. Stop the show. Pick up tomorrow. Mishnah Gimel.